Hi and welcome to the 5th episode of Snuggles TV. And you might have noticed that it looks a little bit different where we're sitting today. And it's because we've traveled to another country. Woo! What's this? It's a paper plane. Snuggles, are you throwing paper planes around? Yes, he is, because we have been out traveling and we're flying in a big airplane. And we're also going to count airplanes today. That's really nice, these paper planes that you have made, Snuggles. How did you make them fly? He had made like this little system of a machine that's like throwing them out. That's really funny. I'll put this one up here. And you can see Snuggles, he is in his travel bag. He's been traveling in this bag. And it has nice openings so he can just crawl up and look out whenever he wants. And then he has his suitcase right here, a big suitcase with all his things, clothes and everything he needs down here. And where are we? We're actually in Australia, in Sydney in Australia. And Snuggles and I, we live in Denmark, and Sydney, Australia is on the other side of the world. And it takes quite some time to travel to Sydney from Denmark. And we flew in 2 different planes. Let's just see how you get from Denmark to Sydney. Take a look.
This is a map of the entire world, and Snuggles and I, we live in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. That's where the shimmer is right now. Can you see it? Now it comes again with the Danish flag. So we had to go from Denmark and all the way to Sydney, Australia. And that's where the kangaroo and the shimmer is right now. Can you see that too? So we had to go from Denmark to Sydney, Australia, on this route. And we didn't only take 1 plane, we took 2 planes. And on the first plane we went on, we had to make a little stop. So we went from Denmark to Dubai. And Dubai is a country where there are camels. So we went from Denmark to Dubai. And we were flying on the first plane. And it looked a little like this. And then we landed in Dubai. And we were there a few hours, and then we had to go on the next plane. And then we flew from Dubai and all the way to Sydney with the kangaroos. That was a long flight. Flew for many hours. And then we landed in Sydney, Australia, all the way on the other side of the world, from Denmark to Sydney. And of course we have packed. We had packed our suitcases and passport and tickets so we could be ready for this long trip.
So that's how we got down here from Copenhagen. From Copenhagen to Dubai, from Dubai to Sydney in Australia with all the kangaroos. And there's actually quite a few kangaroos down here. We already seen a little bit. And some other things that are also very significant from Sydney, for Sydney, is something we can actually see up here with our view. It's an opera house, and then there's a big bridge that's called the Harbour Bridge. Let's just zoom in so you can see what it is.
Look at this beautiful view over Sydney. You can see there are a lot of houses and big tall buildings. But if we zoom in right here, you can see the white building. That's the Sydney Opera House. And it was actually designed by a Danish man called Jørgen Utzon. And just behind the Opera House is a big bridge. And that bridge is Harbour Bridge. And it has been there for many years before the tall buildings came. But look, isn't it pretty, this view?
So we're actually pretty lucky to see those beautiful things just from our view up here. And even though we are out traveling, we can still do math. And today we're going to do 2 things. First up, we're going to go into the world. And Snuggles and I went down by the beach, by the airport, because there you can see the planes taking off and landing. And that's really, really cool to see those big planes doing that. So we're going to count planes today. And secondly, we are going to have the question for you, where we're answering the question from last episode with the Formula 1 cars. And then we have a question for you with airplanes. That's pretty cool. What are you saying, Snuggles? Oh, that's right. I also have to remember to tell you, he's saying that here on the other side of the world, it's fall right now. At home it's spring, but here it's fall. It's still very summery and very warm down here, and at home, springtime in Denmark, it's super cold. It's really cold, but here it's like summer and we can do summer clothes. That's really nice too. It's very different when you travel so far away from where you normally live. But into the world, we're gonna go into the world, we're gonna count the airplanes, and let's go and check out how it looks and count some planes.
Hi, now we're here in Australia. We're on the beach. Just behind me is the airport. And we're gonna see how many planes are gonna take off the landing. Snuggles, he's curled in here in my jacket because it's a little bit windy today. But let's see how many planes are gonna land and take off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3,
'Wasn't that super cool to see all those planes? Let's jump right into the book and count them.
So here we have the planes. We saw 4 taking off. So we're going to do like this. So they're going up from the ground. 1, count with me. 2, 3, 4. And 4 looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. So we take our 4 and put it up here. Then we saw 3 planes landing. So we're putting them downwards like this. So they're going down to the ground, landing softly. 1, 2, 3. Did you also get 3? Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And 3 looks like 1, 2, 3, like this. Take our 3, put it underneath here. So we have 4 plus 3. And now today we don't have the adding machine with us because he couldn't come traveling with us. So we have to count on our hands.
So now we're gonna count on our hands. We're gonna get 4 on this end. Are you ready? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 on the other hand. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Now we have to count all this together. Are you ready? We can use the nose. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means it's 7. Let's go into the book and write it down.
So it was 7. Let's just double check. We're counting. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it's true. 4 plus 3 equals 7. So let's just see. 1, 2, there was a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 looks like this. Take our 7, put it underneath 2 numbers on top of the 2 lines. That means that it equals 7.
That was a lot of planes. And now it's time for the question for you. And first up, we're going to look at the question from last episode with the Formula 1 car. So let's jump right into the book.
So here we have the question from last time. We have, count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the green cars. And then we have 1, 2, 2 of the other cars. So the question was what is 5 plus 2? And now we're going to count them all together to figure it out. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 plus 2 equals 7. And 7 looks like this. We place it underneath the other numbers, under the 1 line and above the 2 lines. That means that it equals 7. 5 plus 2
equals 7.
It's actually pretty interesting because 5 plus 2 equals 7. But also, as we saw before, 4 plus 3 equals 7. So different numbers added together can be the same number. That's really interesting, I think. So what do you think, Snuggles? Yeah, that's right, because now it's time for the question for you. And today we have done it a little bit differently because we are going to show you a video of planes taking off and planes landing. And then you have to figure out to write it up and answer the question. And we'll also help you a little bit how to write it. But let's take a look at the video.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
So in the video, we saw 3 planes taking off. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Number 3 looks like this. Place it here on top. And then we saw 2 planes landing. 1, 2. And 2 looks like this. 1, 2. We put it under here. Whoops. 3 plus 2. How much is that? So you can either count it on the fingers, take 3 on one hand, 2 on the other hand, and you count it together. Or you can count it here. 1, 2, 3. How much is that? And when you figure it out, you write the right answer, the right number here on top of the 2 lines. And can't wait to see if you got it right in the next episode.
Hasn't it just been super cool to watch those big planes take off and landing today? It's almost like a bird flying is just a machine. What do you think, Snuggles? Yes, that's true. Because the next episodes are also going to be from down here in Australia. And we're going to look at some animals that's very specific from down here. So we can't wait to see you in the next episodes. And remember to subscribe.